Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khaufan Andini, and in this video I would like to tell about a story, one of fictional literary works for children entitled Peter Pan. So let me explain about the brief explanation of the story. Peter Pan is a work by G.M. Barrie in the form of novel and plays. Peter Pan tells a story about a little boy named Peter Pan who can fly and has many adventures on the island of Neverland that inhabited by mermaids, fairies, Native Americans, and pirates. The Peter Pan stories also involving the character of Wendy Darling and her two brothers, John and Michael, fiery, a little fiery called Tinkerbell, and the Lost Boy. And also, the story have a character named Captain Hook. He is the captain of the pirates. So let's jump right to the story. Once upon a time in London, the Darlings went out to a dinner party, leaving their three children, Wendy, John, and Michael, at home. After Wendy had tucked her younger brother John and Michael to bed, she went to read a book. She heard a boy sobbing outside her window. He was flying. There was little fairy fluttering around him. Wendy opened the window to talk to him. "Hello, who are you? Why are you crying?" Wendy asked him. "My name is Peter Pan. My shadow wouldn't talk to me," he replied. She asked him to come in. Peter agreed and came inside the room. Wendy took his shadow and sewed it to his shoe tips. Now his shadow followed him wherever Peter Pan went. He was delighted and asked Wendy, "Why don't you come with me to my home, the Neverland? I live there with my fairy Tinkerbell." Wendy answered, "Oh, what a wonderful idea! Let me walk up John and Michael too. Could you teach us how to fly?" "Yes, of course. Get them and we will fly together," Peter Pan replied. And so it was. 5 little figures flew out of the window of the Darlings and headed toward Neverland. As they flew over the island, Peter Pan told the children more about his homeland. "All the children who get lost come and stay with Tinkerbell and me," Peter told them. The Indians also live in Neverland. The mermaids live in the lagoon around the island, and a very mean pirate called Captain Hook keeps troubling everyone. Crocodile hit his one arm, so the captain had to put a hook in its place. Since then, he is afraid of the crocodiles, and rightly so. If the crocodile ever found Captain Hook, it will eat up the rest of it couldn't eat last time, Peter told them. Soon they landed in the island, and to the surprise of Wendy, John, and Michael, Peter Pan led them in through a small opening in a tree. Inside the tree was a large room with children inside it. Some were huddled by the fire in the corner, and some were playing amongst themselves. Their faces lit up when they saw Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and their cast. "Hello everyone, this is Wendy, John, and Michael. They will be staying with us from now on." Peter Pan introduced them to all children. Children welcomed Wendy, John, and Michael. A few days passed, and they settled into a routine. Wendy would take care of all of the children in the day and would go out with Peter Pan and her brothers in the evening to learn about the island. She would cook for them and stitch new clothes for them. She even made a lovely new dress for Tinkerbell. One evening, as they were out exploring the island, Peter Pan warned everyone and said, "Hide! Hide! Pirates! And they have kidnapped the Indian princess Tiger Lily. They have kept her there, tied up by the rocks, near the water."
Captain Hook was Peter Pan's enemy.
Peter was afraid, and the princess would drown if she fell into the water. So, in a voice that sounded like Captain Hook, he shouted instruction to the pirates who carried her. "You fools! Let her go at once. Do it before I come there, or else I will throw each one of you into the water," said Peter. The pirates got scared and immediately released the princess. She quickly dived into the water and swam to the safety of her home. Soon everyone found out how Peter Pan had rescued the princess. When the Captain Hook found out how Peter had tricked his men, he was furious and swore to have his revenge. That night, Wendy told Peter Pan that she and her brother wanted to go back home since they missed their parents. She said if the lost children also returned to her world, they could find a nice home for them. Peter Pan didn't want to leave Neverland, but for the sake of the children he agreed, although a bit sadly. He would miss his friend dearly. The next morning, all the lost children left with Wendy, John, and Michael. But on the way, Captain Hook and his men kidnapped all of them. He tied them and kept them on one of his ships. As soon as Peter found out about it, he rushed to the ship. He swung himself from a tree's branch and onto the deck of the ship where all of the children were tied up. He swung his sword bravely and threw over the pirates who tried to stop him. Quickly, he released everyone from their captured ties. Wendy, John, Michael, and Tinkerbell helped all the children into the water, where their friends from the Indian camp were ready with smaller boats to take them to safety. Peter Pan now went looking for the Captain Hook. "Let us finish it forever, Mr. Hook," Peter Pan challenged Captain Hook. "Yes, Peter Pan, you have caused me enough trouble. It is time that we finish this," said Captain Hook. Captain Hook, with his sword drawn, he reached toward Peter Pan. Quick on his feet, Peter Pan stepped aside and pushed Hook inside the sea where the crocodiles was waiting to eat the rest of Hook. Everyone rejoiced as Captain Hook was out of their lives forever. Everybody headed back to London. Mr. and Mrs. Darling was so happy to see their children and they agreed to adopt the lost children. They even asked Peter Pan to come and live with them. But Peter Pan said he never wanted to grow up, so he and Tinkerbell will go back to Neverland. Peter Pan promised everyone that he will visit again sometime, and he flew out of the window with Tinkerbell by his side. After we know the story of Peter Pan, we can learn the moral value of the story. And the moral value that I get from the story is that we have to be brave, we have to be ourselves, and take the risk so no one can stop you. See you on the next video. Bye bye.